handsome devils. Darn, we need to get you a booster suit.
I know, right?
It looks like, I'm sorry, I know we're going to start, but I have to say this. So I watched the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I'm already 2 inches below him.
Yeah. I watched the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and they, Al Roker does it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they have this table, and the two women are there. I forgot their names, but they're from like that Today shows, whatever. And they're like, here. He sits in this chair, and he literally, I'm like, they're doing him dirty here.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a midget. Like under the thing.
Yeah, he's basically almost just above the table. He's like an old lady driving over the steering wheel.
Who made this decision?
They put him on the kiddies table.
Yeah.
So, don't edit this part out.
Oh, I'm not. And on that note, all right, everybody, welcome back to Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
And I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And our special guest again.
And I'm Doug Tschirhart.
Welcome back, Doug.
I feel like you don't even need to say special guest. I'm just going to next time say
I know, just
say it afterwards.
Yeah, right.
Doug.
I'm in this episode.
Now one of our partners.
I'm here.
This is Larry, Daryl, and Doug.
Or what was your name? Tom? No, the guys called you.
Oh,
It's been so long now.
Frank and...
One
was Frank, one was...
you were Frank, and I was...
Larry?
It was something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. We'll have to go back to.
I have to go back. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
listen
We
to
talked
it.
about that. I was like, not this year's sunscreen, but last.
That's my alter ego.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I believe this shirt belonged to Frank.
Yeah.
Frankie says relax.
So sorry, guys. I already made this off the rails from the beginning.
Oh no, it's
No, that's par for the
I do
course.
want to say, guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
guys.
Absolutely.
I think this comes out about a week before Christmas. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing a Christmas episode?
Yep.
Yes.
Because Christmas, I think, is on.
It's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's on-
Yeah.
We'll be releasing our Christmas episode on Christmas.
See, that's perfect. Look at that.
Yes, while you're
People
opening up
listen.
your presents.
At 11:11.
Yeah.
So we had Doug back with us. We're going to have a couple topics, but the first one we're going to talk about is your movie that you just got done.
Yeah.
And Saint Nick of Bethlehem.
Saint Nick of Bethlehem. Yeah, I guess for the audience, I can give a little rundown, and I want to hear what you guys thought, and maybe any questions you guys have about the making of it, or anything you didn't understand or something. Saint Nick of Bethlehem is a beautiful, basically a Christmas movie, Saint Nick, that takes place in a city called Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is like the Christmas city. I recommend anybody who's really into Christmas go to this town. Starting like November 1st, they go all out. Everything's Christmas, decorated, everything. So it makes sense. Bethlehem, Jesus was born. So it is a cool thing. It is the story of a man named Nick who lost some family and has a bunch of stuff going on, and by the end of the movie, kind of, becomes the town's, Saint Nick. It has a great cast. Kathy Moriarty, who's, people know from Raging Bull, or I always tell people our age probably know her from Casper as the villain in Casper.
I don't know what you're talking about. She was great and analyzed that too.
Oh yeah, she was in there. She's in a lot of stuff, and I will say, an amazing actress, but also just an amazing person. She was so sweet. She brought her daughter came actually one day, and we ended up putting her as she's a waitress in the end of the movie. It has Danny Roebuck as the main lead, good friend of mine, great actor. People know him from Fugitive, Final Destination, Terrifier 3. I mean,
he was also in Matlock.
He was
Matlock,
the original,
like the side.
He was Cliff. He was like the side.
I don't know if he was the officer or investigator, like the assistant.
He was like the assistant in the office.
I got
like
you.
The paralegal or whatever.
Yep.
But he was always on. And he could tell you great stories about Andy Griffith. In fact, he's actually. I'll give him a little shout out. Although I think it'll be over by the time this comes out. But he is playing Scrooge on a play at a place called the Andy Griffith Playhouse in the city that I forgot the name of the city now.
Pilot Mountain.
But
or not Pilot Mountain.
Yeah, it's in like Virginia or something.
Yeah,
It's over in there. So you would probably
Mount Airy.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
Mount Airy.
And he's playing. So it's kind of a cool thing. And he
They
does it
have
every year.
their whole downtown is like set up as
Mayberry. That's what they call it, like Mayberry Days and stuff. They do. Okay.
Yep.
Because he goes to those.
Okay.
And does because he knew him. He spent I think 4 or 5 years with Andy. And during Matlock. So that's what people know him from. Back to the movie, though. Again, it's just a wonderful story. It's comedy as well as a drama, which I think balances itself pretty well in this film. It came to myself and my business partner after we did another film. We did I Feel Fine, which I believe we talked about early in one of these podcasts. Danny's in that. Met Danny. Danny right afterwards said, "Hey guys, like how you guys produce." Handed us a script for this Christmas movie. Said, "I want to do this, but we probably need to do it in like a month in November, because that was like October." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me read it." Loved it, and we just quickly figured it out, and we shot it in 3 weeks in November, and then a week and a half in April. Literally right before we wrapped shooting right before Sunscreen last year. And then quickly got it edited because we knew we wanted to at least show it for this holiday season. It's not streaming, unfortunately, but we did get it in 60 theaters around the country, which I'm very proud of because we're self-distributing.
absolutely.
It was all self-distribution. We did a couple premieres, one in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, because obviously that's where it was shot. We did one in Tampa because that's where we're from. And they did another one in New York, I believe. It was a small one. So hopefully next year I'll probably come back and it'll be streaming and it will be we'll be showing it too. We're going to do some special screenings with some of the cast and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I mean, I didn't want to give too much away, but obviously.
Well, I definitely didn't cry at 9:30 in the morning watching it.
And that is the point. So, no, I mean, and that's what I was saying. I think it's a comedy, but it also has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, to me, one of the things we wanted to accomplish with it, with making it, is to make a classic like what we grew up with. Holiday movie. Unfortunately, and I love a lot of these movies, but a lot of stuff that's come out the last 10 years, if it's not Hallmark,
Oh my God.
it's then it's got things that you won't want to watch with your parents.
Right.
Watch with
It's
kids.
going to be the second topic of this episode.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
So which is great. I love those kind of movies. but for me,
I get
it's been a
so
while.
what I enjoyed about this is that it was not a Hallmark style movie.
And I'm glad you said that.
didn't
'Cause some
find
people thought it might be.
You didn't find Saint Nick in this random town that all of a sudden your car breaks down on Christmas Eve and he's the only mechanic that can fix it for you. Like
For some reason, he's a prince from Germany.
exactly. Yeah, he's in disguise.
We definitely tried
Like-
to get away from those tropes because it really isn't. And actually, it's based on a true story. So that's the one that I left out. And I know the man that it's based on, and it is a beautiful story. Obviously, we took some liberties. You always have to, and just to make.
Well, there's a difference between being
story.
based on a true story and then some writer reading a headline and then making a script about that and saying it's based off of something.
That's what they
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Oh, you mean
loosely
Cocaine Bear?
based.
yeah. Which is they're like, this has nothing. This is not it at all. But
That's either you get either the loosely based or inspired by.
Yeah,
the
right.
story.
Yeah.
But ours is, and the guy, at the premiere in Bethlehem, the guy was there. He was on set. He's in the movie, actually. He has a cameo. And he is Santa Claus every year. So that's sort of what he became, him and his wife. Met our director, Spencer, who co-directed with Danny. And literally 6 years ago, Spencer said, I'm going to start writing this, a movie about you. Gave it to Danny, who then rewrote, did some rewrites, made it a little funnier, punched it up, is what we call it, making it a little... Just making it more coherent.
Get it a little more engaging.
And that always happens. So,
Yeah.
And literally had this amazing script and got a good cast and made it. Dwayne's great too, plays the brother and the thing. People know him from Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
He was the guy who gets shot in the face or whatever at the pawn shop in Pulp Fiction. Tim is great. He played the pastor, the priest, Jimbo, but the priest.
Reverend Jimbo.
Reverend Jimbo.
I think people called him Jimbo or Reverend.
I like that because that is my hometown to a T.
That's
It's like it doesn't matter. Yes, he's the pastor. I don't care. I don't care. I grew up with him. We went fishing together.
Yeah.
We took baths together. He's Jimbo.
Yeah, well, that's what he's like. He's like, this guy is not my reverend because he cheated at Monopoly.
Yeah, right.
It's one of my favorite.
I did like that.
And they bring it up over and over, which I think is just smart. But it's such a great cast. Again, Kathy. Then there's the kid is great that's in it. Marsha's great. She played the love interest.
Mary?
Mary, yeah. Marsha, she's another one like Danny. She's been in a million, and you look at her on TV, she's just been in a million things. She was her first role ever was actually in Night of the Living Dead 2.
Oh.
Back in the 80s.
Damn.
One of her first roles, or maybe the 70s. One of her first roles. And then she did the same. She's been in several movies with Danny. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, there's a photo of them in the movie younger. Danny has a little mustache, like almost like a short mustache. And there's a woman that is both of them in a movie they did back in the 80s.
Yeah, that's when he takes the picture out.
Yeah,
He's going to the garage.
Yeah.
And he
He
shows the
drops
frame
it
to his
on the
mother.
desk, and the mother gives her like a smile, and she's like, "What is he doing? He's crazy." That was a real photo. And then there's the inserts were actually them. They went to, I don't know. No, they didn't go to high school together, but they found both their yearbooks and took pages.
So I was going to
Yeah.
ask
The
that
edit,
the
yeah.
opening sequence, were those real photos?
Yes, that is Buster, who is Danny's real son.
Oh, okay.
And he is alive. But we wanted to make it. I mean, he's the whole movie. Like, there's pictures of the kid,
Of Scotty.
Scotty.
Yes, that's
and that's
him.
Buster.
Okay.
Who wasn't a day on set, but literally just and Danny's done this before. You know, and that's what you have to do sometimes is find those little connections. Like, you know what, I have some photos of me as a kid or this person as a kid. But I thought it was a good touch to put that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Kind of built it up and made it, more real and give the characters a little more depth. So you kind of understand
Absolutely.
exactly what's going on instead of it just being like, huh? Okay.
So Kathy,
Yeah.
she reminded me so much of my grandmother.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
as just like constantly being on and pushing. And when she would even talk, she's like, I'm going for a run. No one's stopping.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
Oh, I love
what?
it all. Kathy.
That is just like
The greatest part is like, Mom, I have to tell you something. You're listening? Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
right, yeah.
Are you sure? Damn it. Yes.
Yes. Talk. Say what you're gonna say.
Get a phone number. Your mother's cold.
Dude, that whole opening sequence is one of my favorites, and it was so much fun to make. Again, and then I'll tell you, this movie, of all the movies I've made so far, was probably the most fun to actually make.
Yeah.
Because it was just, everybody was all, I think also the fact it's a Christmas movie. And last year, it was November, but we all kind of got into the Christmas spirit, and it kind of carried through. But then just having people like Kathy, who in herself is just hilarious. I mean, I can't repeat some of the stories she told me, about De Niro, and Pesci was one of her. She loves Pesci. I'll just tell you, she loves Pesci. She had so many good things to say about Pesci. But it just made me laugh, and and those scenes are just so. Any scene she's in, I just start smiling and laughing because she is just. And although most of that's scripted, she not improv, but she definitely put her own flair on things.
Like ad-libbed a little.
Really, which really I think made the character better because, or even there, I remember a couple times her and the directors would talk, and she's like, I don't know if I would say it like that, and and that's what you do as an actor, and they know that. Danny's an actor. So, well, how do you think you say it? And when she said it, we're like, that's even better and funnier. The way, that whole scene where he comes in from the outside
From
of
the
whip,
run.
from the run, and he's like, Mom, I've been out, and she's just like, what is going? Like, I'm not listening.
Do you want
No.
breakfast? I've been up for hours. I've already had breakfast.
He's like manic almost. And it's like them two together making that scene was just like the funniest thing. Like I just remember it was a lot of, on set you're supposed to be very quiet. There was a lot of holding and laughter, and then when you hear cut, everyone just like busting out laughing. So, which is a lot of fun. And
Who was it that wrote the ending credits song?
oh, that is, oh man, I wish I knew her name offhand, but she's the daughter of our casting director, Beth. Her daughter wrote that song.
That was an awesome
beautiful
song.
song.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song. In fact, I will, in a minute, let me see if I can look it up, because I feel bad now, not knowing.
Well, while you're looking it up, I will
Yeah.
make another comment about about the mother, Carol, and Kathy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she, the one scene that I really like, so like she said, you reminded me of your grandmother. She, in the opening scene, reminded me of my mother. Of my own mother, because when they're going through, my mother was a trinket knick-knack person, and I would take her places. But the line I love the most is when he's like, it's like, it's only $1. It's like, let me explain something.
Yeah.
This is $1. 100 of these is $100.
And she's like, you're such a cheapskate. Like, but it is, like, the whole idea is that buys this stuff every year, never actually puts it out.
Yeah.
You know, and people know that. People like that. I mean, we had a whole show called Hoarders about people that just like collect and don't do
Won
anything.
awards.
Yeah, you know, so
Human racism.
Not the
is
people, but
and then I will say, and I'm so bad at this, I don't know the name of that place because I'm not from that area, but I'm sure people do. That is such a cool little, it's not a little, it's a huge little shop that has, and at that time of year was mostly Christmas, but it's almost like a flea market, but not like, I feel like flea market gets a bad
Seems like
rap.
an
It's
antique store.
Like an indoor, but a lot of new stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's like how a flea market, when you go through and there's like sections of different
So like the
things.
old flea market where it's covered and everything.
Yeah, that's
Right,
what
right.
it's like. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a less expensive Robert's Christmas
Yes,
ball.
there you go.
yes.
Oh man, Roberts, how do they make money all year round?
I
never
have no
can figure it
The place
out.
has been there since I moved here in
That's what I'm
1999.
saying. I mean, they've obviously
They
done
get those
something
Christmas
right.
in July, people, so they get them at
Yeah.
least twice a year.
It's true.
One of my favorite things too is that I like to talk about is the reindeer, because there really aren't. Well, we didn't think there were reindeer in Pennsylvania. Randomly, Danny Googles reindeer farm near us or whatever, just on Google, and this thing pops up and it's like 30 minutes away. So me and Danny drove just to see what the heck it was. And this really nice lady owns a reindeer, like not farm is the wrong word for it, but reindeer ranch. She's got a couple, I think she has 2 or 3. But there was one, she's like, oh yeah, he's great. He'll, you know, they're dangerous animals.
Yeah.
And they can get aggressive.
Well, they have giant antlers.
Yeah.
So
that to get, even though we only used 2 seconds of it, we were there for like a long time, and we actually had 5 cameras, including 6 cameras, including a couple cell phones, just to make sure we captured
Everything.
something good. Ben almost got bucked by it at one point. Yeah. So there was a couple like, oh crap, and it really doesn't listen, like it doesn't take direction even from the lady, like she was trying to like get him to, you know,
Chauncey, no.
yeah. And then it was like, oh geez, but it worked out really well because the whole thing when he looks up and there's the antlers and he's like looking through the that when we saw we got that, we're like, if anything, we're using that shot, and we ended up using that and like one other. The running scene, we did it like 5 in the morning in the freezing cold. By the way, it was November in Pennsylvania, and not from Florida, but I'm a Florida boy now, and you know this from Virginia.
Yes.
That time of year, woo, you're bundling up, and you never know how many layers you're gonna need.
No.
So you always put as many, and then as the day goes on, you less, and then it gets cold again.
And you get it
put
back
more
on.
And I'm not used to that. Like I'm used to wearing t-shirt and shorts, and that's pretty much every day my look. Except for now, but you know, and it just made me. It was just crazy, but it was fun. But it was like early in the morning, out there like with our coffee, just like super chilly.
And then you got to go to Danny and like, all right, run a 5K.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and we'd be like, run again, and then he had to pretend to fall. He probably pretended to fall like 5 times. We had like a mattress off screen, but after a while, he's like, just let me fall. I'm not even gonna, worry about that. This doesn't. I'm still trying to find that thing.
It reminds me of Cool Runnings when they go to the Winter Olympics from Jamaica. It's like, Sanka, what you smoking? He's like, I'm not smoking, I'm freezing.
I love that movie.
Yeah, like they all run outside. Like, oh, he runs inside.
Yeah, he runs inside, puts
his
everything on, including his bag. Yeah, because he, like Doug, you only pack shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, that was my thing too. Going there, knowing that I had stuff to do. I'm like, okay, I need to go. I need to do this. Blah blah blah. I was free. I was like, what do I bring? And do I have anything to bring? I'm in Florida. So I brought like every jacket I had because we were there 3 weeks, and I basically lived in a hotel for those 3 weeks, and it was freezing, it was whatever, but it ended up all working out. I did have to go to the store like right when I got there and pick up a few things because I was like, nope, and, and it's a small town. So the funny thing was there was literally around where our hotel was, because Bethlehem, we were actually staying outside of Bethlehem. Bethlehem's not nice and whatever, but they've really only got 1 or 2 like hotels, and they're not the cheapest hotels in the world. In fact, Kathy stayed at the Hotel Bethlehem, which is a beautiful hotel. It's in the movie. You see it.
Yeah.
In that dining scene when he's him the date that's inside that hotel. So we're staying at just like a small, beautiful Sonesta. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. It's a great little hotel. But the only thing next to it was an Applebee's. So every night the crew and us would all just show up at Applebee's right next to this thing. So yeah, it was
busiest 3 weeks of that Applebee's.
Yeah, trust me. After that, I didn't want to go to another Applebee's. I said gone back, but I think it was probably at least 6 months before I went to another Applebee's after that, because I was like, I can't just eat and drink.
If I do that 2 for $20, do you want more?
Yeah. Exactly what it is. Exactly.
What was the budget for this movie, can I ask?
Yeah, our budget was about $400,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed you weren't the only production. There were 2 others I saw on the title screen.
There was a couple, yeah. So,
I figured that usually means a lot more money.
well, sometimes. A lot of that also has to do with who's involved. Like, the director's production company is Hard Faith, and they were in the beginning of it. Channel Peace is actually Danny's nonprofit company, which actually helped because they donated money to us.
Oh, okay.
So that's why their name's on there. And then you got our name, and there were 2 other ones. One is Danny and his wife's company, Magic Bean, and then there was one more that actually I don't know. They gave money, and that's why they're on there. And I don't know them. Like I didn't meet them.
Were you the only producers on set?
Pretty well, other than
Danny and the
Danny
director.
and his wife was the thing. But yeah, really, it was, I the movie really I was and Ben, but I was there every day as an on-set producer.
Oh, okay.
And like, if something happens, I take care, make sure it gets taken care of. If something anticipating stuff that might happen. Hey, Doug, tomorrow we're at this location. Can you go there today and make sure we're good? I have a funny story actually that reminded me of so in the movie there's a used car lot. Well,
Charlie's.
Charlie's. So that was not a used car lot. Yeah.
Was that just the parking lot the entire crew just parked in?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you that whole story right now. Actually,
I figured it out.
It's
I'm
funny.
happy.
Getting ahead of it.
Yeah, no, and it'll all make sense. So that was the last place we didn't have a location for. We could have gone to. Well, I think we did go to a couple used car dealerships. They weren't working with us the way we really needed more control, and we needed to be able to shoot all day. So somebody, it might have been Danny, was driving around and drove by this abandoned little building with a parking lot around it. He's like, that could be really good for the thing. I mean, we'd have to dress it up. So we go. He finds out that it's actually owned by the city. It's not Bethlehem. There's another small city, Northampton, who also helped us out a lot. In fact, they're mentioned at the end. It's like owned by them or somebody like the mayor or somebody related to whatever owns that building. So literally the mayor shows up and gives us the keys and says, yeah, you guys can use it whatever you want. Well, the place is a mess though. And we said, well, we're going to have to whatever. And he's like, you guys clean it up. You don't have to pay any money for whatever. You guys just clean it up. So we sent a couple crew like a couple days before. It literally cleaned up this just like abandoned thing. They got the power. The city turned the power back on for us. It really helped us out. Like I really. So we just went to work like designing, putting all those signs up. We went. People said, "Oh, you know what? In my garage, I have a bunch of license plates. Cool, let's get them. Put them on the wall." Everybody kind of contributed to make this thing. Then we printed a lot off. I had to go to Dwayne's room. It's on my cell phone. I have the picture of him pointing down where it says, "A boss sits here."
Oh yeah.
I had to go to his hotel room, go there, take pictures of him, send it to the printer to print those off. It was so funny. But the funnier story of it is, so that was great. And yes, so what we did was we just took all the crew cars and put them out there, and even some of the customers during those scenes are crew members.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And actually the scene, if you see where he goes, nice beard. Oh, nice beard. The other guy with the beard is the real guy.
Oh,
in that
okay.
scene. So that's why they do like a little cross. But he, so the funny story is that we did one day of shooting. Everything was great, wrapped up. Went back to the hotel. We're kind of getting ready for the next day. Tammy says, "Oh my gosh, there's a post. Someone just sent me a post on a local, what's it called?
The news?
Facebook post saying, hey, has anybody seen the new used car lot that opened up overnight? Like, this is crazy." And then The next day, this guy shows up with a clipboard, and he comes up and he starts saying, you guys need to shut down right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what? You guys don't have a permit to sell cars here, or like to be a business. And I'm like, oh. It was so real looking that people thought it was a real that we had just sprung up.
Well,
So
let me enlighten you, Dick.
Yeah. So while I finally had, I was like, let me bring you inside. Okay? I'm like, we're making a movie. So I saw the cameras. He met Danny, and he was funny. But he was definitely one of those like stiff guys. Like I was thinking of in It's a Wonderful Life. The guys are going to like arrest George Bailey.
Oh yeah.
And they're very stiff. And then finally at the end, they're like, all right, we'll join you know, and that's sort of what happened. Like for the whole time, he was very stoic, just like, nope, I'm not. My job is to give you guys a ticket. And
Sir, you guys.
No, he was going to fine us. He said there was a fine for not having a permit, and of course the mayor. Someone called the mayor, then finding out I was like, oh geez. The mayor had to come on and be like, bro, I forgot to tell you guys. I guess I didn't figure it'd be that real looking.
Right, yeah.
You know, and we hadn't shot outside, so no one saw any like cameras yet. They were all inside. Because we'd only done like one day at that point. I think we were still inside doing all those scenes. So it was just so funny to me. Like, hey, we did our job though, right?
Yeah. Right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the more real it is, that means our art department did a great job and made it look real.
Nice.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. So you guys all, I liked it. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
You know, I try to say it's a movie for everybody, and not everyone's gonna like it. We have had some bad reviews. Most of them don't really make sense to me, but it's it is what it is. It's like
Bunch of Scrooges out there.
well, that's what it is. Or just people complain about oh well, it's some people complain that it's too religious, which I don't think it is, but we have a church scene, and there is a little hint of it, but what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Most people in small towns, when someone dies, they go to the church.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's not like
and everybody
halls,
in the town,
even in large towns.
Everybody.
Someone mentioned that, like, why were all the town at the funeral or something like that? I'm like, because it's a small town.
It's like 80 people.
Yeah, and they're all gonna be there because they all know each other.
Right.
Yep.
They call the Reverend Jimbo, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, because like you said, I think if, like you said, if you're from a small town, you understand. I get it. Being here in Tampa Bay, that doesn't always happen.
Right.
People don't even have funerals, at churches anymore. Sometimes, it's like, which is great. But this was supposed to be a very small town. I mean, and it really is. It's based in Bethlehem. Oh, the other reason we made the movie in Bethlehem, and I saw it, I didn't watch it, but there is a Hallmark movie called Miracle in Bethlehem. Not shot in Bethlehem.
I bet Patrick's seen it.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now.
Not shot in Bethlehem, and there's no shots of, but it takes place in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But there's no
mention,
and they shot it in Winnipeg, Canada. So our joke was, when we first started making, we went to the city, we did a big press thing right when we started shooting it. And we made a fake poster and we said, all right, we're coming to Bethlehem, we're making Miracle in Winnipeg. In Bethlehem. So it's like, almost like
Miracle in Winnipeg, Part 2.
Yeah. So we're like, we're kind of making fun of the fact that it's,
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
And Terrell Rothery's in there.
I was gonna say, is that one of the new Lindsay Lohan 400
it
Christmas movies?
So it came out either last year or the year before.
2023.
Yeah. So, and part of that was why we said, well, we're making a movie actually. Because I guess, I haven't watched it, but from what people have said, there is no shots. Like, they didn't even bother to just go to the town and get some drone shots.
Like aerial,
Yeah, like...
Couldn't even find stock footage of
I'm sure they could have.
Public domain stock
you can't use a Christmas card? Like,
I don't know, it just was weird.
There are 3 trivia facts attached to this movie. Number 3, despite the title, this was not filmed in Bethlehem.
I feel like one of my guys put that in there, like, submitted that as the trivia.
Just as a
not is capitalized, like all 3 letters.
Yeah. That's because I think, and honestly, I think the town was kind of pissed. That's what I think they were a little upset. Because, yes, it might, people say, well, it might drive people to come there. Where?
Who?
You didn't shoot it here.
Yeah, what'd you see?
You're not showing the Hotel Bethlehem.
Right.
You're not showing, no, they do have a Hotel Bethlehem, but it's just another hotel.
In Winnipeg.
In Winnipeg. that they call
It's
that.
the JW in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
CGI'd over that.
It's just, I don't know, and that is sad that they do that because it's like, don't use that name, just use another.
Right.
Was it difficult to get like filming permits or anything up there?
No, because two things. One, and I forgot to mention this, Danny's from Bethlehem. That's where he was raised. That's partly why we shot there as well. Also, it's such a small town. Everyone just wanted to help out. The mayors all were involved. That's why it wasn't that hard. We didn't even literally, they play music, like Christmas music, in the street. They have little speakers. But when we're shooting, like those street scenes where like the shop where the kid comes up and takes his job again.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
I have a question about him when you're done.
Well,
I have a question about his character when you're done.
We literally called the mayor and said, "Hey, can you turn off the music?" And like 5 minutes later, the music shut off.
Damn.
So we had a lot of things, and I'm sure you guys know we had a ton, and we didn't even show all of it. We had a ton of people in the streets for that last scene.
Yeah, for the very end scene.
That was literally Danny went on the news and said, "I need people to show up for this," and
the
And
entire
so
pretty much
the two cuts with the news anchors were those actual
that
news
was,
anchors?
and she actually was she's a news anchor.
Okay.
She was sweet. So I actually was working with her to get those, like, because she did an actual news thing, but let us also shoot it. So we were able to kind of mimic.
Okay.
But she also did a news report.
Awesome.
From there.
Yeah.
Same with the radio guys were out, so that was fun. So yeah, it was just a lot of, we had so much support and it was a lot of fun. Just like again, couldn't do that in a city like here, like St. Pete, because you just don't have. It's just too big and there's too many people.
They're not shutting down Almerton for you.
Exactly. They literally shut down. They shut down. Like, we had cops shutting it down. I mean, literally, this cop, we weren't going to use a cop originally because you usually have to pay for it. This cop just comes up and goes, "Hey, guys, I'll just follow me. I'll make sure you guys get there." We're like, okay. Like, here, that would have cost us, like,
$5,000.
a ton of money. And I get it, it's their time, but they were just so nice and wanted to be involved and wanted to see how it all came, and also why that in Bethlehem, every movie theater that played it that also had Wicked, we beat out Wicked.
Really?
Yeah, in that area.
Nice.
Suck it, Wicked.
Yeah.
#1 movie in the country for 4 weeks running.
Next year he's gonna say, "Well, my favorite movie is Wicked."
Yeah.
I haven't seen it and I haven't seen the play.
I've seen the play. I love the musical actually.
I was gonna say that would require him to watch that movie.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You got a couple years for that.
Yeah.
At least
I gotta wait until part 2 comes out so I
Yeah.
can just binge the shit out of it.
You said you had a question about
Jeremiah's character.
Yeah.
Mainly, how do I put this politely? What is his point? Because you get to the end of the movie and he's getting like his umpteenth job and he's talking with
It was
Danny.
just comedy relief.
Oh, okay.
It really was, I think, just
Well,
to...
I thought it was like kind of a little bit of a dick move. He's like, you know what? If you want to be successful, you got to work. And then the very next shot is like another kid just getting a full ride scholarship.
Yeah.
Like he's free.
That
money.
wasn't kind of a dick... Yeah. But I think, I think it was just supposed to be one comic relief.
Okay.
There had to be some sort of reason why he was having a hard time getting a job.
Okay.
And which really we could have said, "Oh, it's just a small town. There's not many jobs."
Mm.
But we need. That's really where that came from.
Okay.
And there's stuff that didn't end up, on the.
Oh, well,
on
I'm
the,
sure the
like,
cutting room floor is
that,
littered with
that may have
exposition.
even. I'm trying to think. There was another scene with him. I think that may have, but even then, it may not have made even sense then. But I think it makes sense just from the point of view of we just needed. The joke is it's a running joke.
Yeah, that Jeremiah just
He
keeps beating
can't
him up.
get because even, and then then in the end he's like, I'll find you a replacement. I'll give you the kid, of course.
Yes.
It made sense to me. Like,
Yeah, that was
this
very
kid
sweet. I did like that
He
one.
basically is a used car salesman.
We
Yeah.
raise prices, right?
Yeah.
You're the same people.
They're the same as my brother. But
Yosemite Sam.
no.
Well, that kid's character reminded me a lot of the kid that played the character Spike in Christmas. Christmas with the
Oh
Cranks.
yeah, I just watched that.
The
yeah.
little kid Spike.
Yeah. Very much like that.
The one
Yeah.
with the flat cap who's about 3 feet tall.
Yeah. That's the brother from Knock in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So just that type of character.
And
reminded
that
me
you
of
need that
character.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And being a Christmas movie, you want to have little kids, and that's also for the kid audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kids can, I know my son is just like that kid, So, but then we had Chloe, who's the girl in the hospital, but because she's
Don't you
met
dare
Santa
bring
now,
up Chloe.
I love that girl too, so cute. That was her first big big movie role.
No, she's got talent. She's gonna go places.
Yeah.
All of those kids are.
Yeah, the kids were great. I mean, Elias is already. I mean, he almost couldn't come to our premiere here in Tampa. He lives in Orlando because he was working on another Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
He is Jeremiah. I'm like, I literally said to him, like, you're everywhere. And he just goes, yep. And I was like,
It's gonna be like a Seinfeld Newman type thing.
yeah.
Hello, Jerry.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Hello,
Newman.
It also helps build up things like the son. Because, at one point he said, sorry.
You're good.
I got distracted for a second.
You could take the producer out of the studio.
That his older brother was Scotty's best friend.
Yeah. So I think that also helps set up this whole premise of people know, like they
Right.
know what really happened to Scotty, but they don't want to. Like, remember she goes, well, that's nice. Like, and then eventually the brother kind of being a dick was like, let me tell you something here.
No.
No, you don't want to do that. Don't say something you're gonna regret.
Time out.
Just so, but it also helps build up to that point in
Right.
church when he finally
Admits it.
admits and everything. That's when it's like, I know what I need to do. I know what I'm, whatever, and even at the end he thanks, he goes, thank you, Scotty, or whatever, which is the true story is the guy lost his son.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and that whole story is crazy. The kid died from a bee sting.
Oh wow.
So random.
My girl.
Like that, but yeah, this kid he had a allergic reaction, went to the hospital, and
Didn't survive.
Didn't survive. And he was like 16 or something like that. So,
Damn.
and obviously for the movie, we want a little more. I mean,
A little bit more impactful.
And I'm not saying that's not impactful. That sucks, but it also is
But
a
you
little
give
more
the
relatable.
you give the ire of the darkness because he blames himself for sending
and,
him.
well, and that's what it was. So the real guy doesn't necessarily blame himself because that was a freak thing.
Yeah.
So you have to have a little bit of that conflict, right? When you're writing a script, you have to look at the story and go. I mean, that's why they always say a lot of movies. People break down movies all the time. What's real? What's part of the real story? Well, this is really what it was, but we had to make. Just the drama has to be a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta have a bigger fall to have that bigger climax.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest things on when they did the remake of the Leo DiCaprio one, where he's doing the moonshine. I'll figure it out later. Never mind.
Cool story, Gavin.
I'm like, I don't
There's the recent one, whatever.
He was in the remake, or they?
Yeah, it was in the remake.
Okay. I'm trying to think what he was in. That's a remake.
It's okay.
We'll
It's
figure
like-
it out.
Yeah.
We'll look it
cut
up.
that
We'll get
part
back.
out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What I was gonna say is I really
Yeah.
enjoyed. The whole movie, but to me it was mostly impactful. The couple scenes where he was talking in the bedroom. Like even the beginning, even though it was like a quick scene where he opens the door, hey,
Yeah.
I'm running out,
And then you see the
it's been a
bed,
good
and
day.
this is made.
And then when he's laying in the bed, and he's laying in there and he's talking to the picture and stuff. And he's like, I'm just, I really miss you. I'm just so sad right now. So those were like, like tug at the heartstring. Type things.
And I think, and those were hard scenes to shoot because we were really trying to figure out how do we make it. We don't want to give it away too much, but we also want to give it away a little bit so that you kind of understand.
Yeah.
So that because remember right after that scene though, because he's crying, you can hear him, and she's in her bedroom hearing him.
Yeah.
And she's like, what am I going to do? One of the next scenes, not long after that, is when the next scene is him waking up, took the ring off. He did.
Yep.
He's finally breaking out of that thing.
Yeah.
So I think, and it almost is a great juxtaposition. Your heart is being pulled at. Then all of a sudden, you're laughing because of him and Kathy going back and forth about his wrong.
Their
and all
banter
that.
back.
Yeah. So, and that was something we really try to do because I think the problem some movies have is they'll start off strong, happy, whatever, and then you'll just get really depressed for the rest of the movie until the ending.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to ebb and flow. We wanted you to be on a ride more, be with him, feel what he's going through, his emotions, where he's really happy and then he's really sad and he's really happy. Until the end, he's really, really, really happy now and he's figured it out and he's moving on. And I think that's what makes it that end powerful. We cut some out for time, but there's a whole nother sequence between when they say, hey, go to the basement, and, and he gets the
Stay
suit.
innocent.
Yeah. There was a whole thing where there was another banter between him and that actor, but also there's signs and he's fine. It's almost like a creepy, like horror movie kind of thing. He was walking down the stairs or whatever. But it just didn't work for time. But it actually was kind of a build up at the time when we were working on it. It would have built it up a little more, and I think maybe we should have figured that out.
So wait, is the signs in the basement not in the final cut?
Some of the signs were.
No, the signs are. The signs are, yeah. What you guys saw is the final cut, is of the scenes. I know there's some audio stuff in it, because I sent you the screener. No, but there was a whole nother sequence we actually didn't put into the movie. It didn't really matter, but there was more signs that point to this door, and he was like, and then he goes, "Are you sure I'm not gonna get like killed?" Or makes like a joke like, "What?" And everyone's just like, "Go, okay." And then he took more time to go downstairs. Because remember, when he comes back up, everybody's in that other space. So there's a little time there, but you just have to suspend that he was down there looking at it and trying it on and for 10, 15 minutes so that they could all get into
it's a pretty hefty get up. I mean, that's going to take
a couple minutes.
And
when he comes back up, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah.
So you can understand if there's a little bit of a time
delay. Beautiful suit.
And that suit reminded me of the Santa Claus with Tim Allen's suit.
Very much.
Yep.
Well, it's a traditional, it's like a traditional Santa suit. Is what it is. So, the one that you get, like the one that he had on earlier than that, is the one you buy at the store.
Yeah, the one he found in the garage, right?
But the traditional, if you're like really into Santa kind of thing, even I was going to say, like that bag has that same color.
Well, the whole tree.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that offline. There's a list of, I think there's 12 Santas on there. So my mother got that for me many years ago.
And they're all different.
Every different time frame and from different countries. I actually have this comes with all the little backstory on the Santas, but offline you can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. But yeah, that's basically what it was. It's a traditional, I think it might even be European style like thing. So, but it is a beautiful suit. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think they made it for it, but I'm sure they sourced it from somewhere. That's
There's got to be a local mall that you could just rob that Santa.
Boscov's, where we went. No one's ever heard of that. Boscov's. It's in the movie. I'm like, you probably know Boscov's.
Yep.
It's like a Sears or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So they were great. They let us film. We filmed that at like 4 a.m. And we were allowed to go into the store. There's actually a couple scenes that we shot of him running around the store. But again, for time, the movie's an hour and a half. Perfect timing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like 90 minutes or whatever it is, like literally perfect timing. So I think, there's just things that are just going to end up. We'll probably, before we put it on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever.
Are we going to get the Tschirhart cut one day?
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll get the
3 hour.
Cut. Yeah, the 3 hour. No, but we'll probably throw some scenes in. There's like deleted scenes that are just funny.
Yeah.
There's a couple more scenes like where he's in the alleyway. And, and the brother comes on, I caught you. And he's like, no, I caught you being an idiot. So there's a couple more scenes like in that banter. But again, when you're making a movie, you in the end, you want it to be as cohesive.
Right.
And we've all watched those movies that even, when we watch them at the theater or something, you're like, I say it all the time, I could have cut 45 minutes out of this movie. It's like, because some directors just love to put everything on. Hey, I wrote it, it's got to be on there. But if it doesn't make sense or it's too much or it's just becoming too long, then cut it. As long as your story still makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially those little scenes, it's like just added dialogue. You don't always need to like keep that in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, good, man. I really enjoyed it though. I mean, not just saying it because we're friends and we like having you on, but no, it was was very good.
If you didn't say like, hey, it wasn't for me.
I enjoyed it.
No, I really liked it.
It's for everybody in my mind. I think if you really didn't like it, then maybe it's something wrong with you.
Yes. Well, then you're wrong.
You are wrong. No,
movie's hot garbage. No, sir, you're hot garbage.
Yeah. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. There's movies I don't like, as well. I can't really watch Hallmark movies, and I've worked on a few of them, but I can't really watch them. I know someone at this table likes them.
They're delectably awful.
That is true. That is true. But enough about me.
I would only use one of those, but okay.
Yeah.
Awful.
But thank you for seeing it.
But they're awful in a good way, like Thanksgiving.
No,
yeah, Thanksgiving. There you go. Oh my God, Thanksgiving. I really want to see those movies. Have you seen them?
We did an episode. That was our Thanksgiving episode.
I didn't even.
I tried watching the second one,
There's a third one.
Yeah.
There's no second one.
No, well, that's the point.
The
The
third
third
one is all about finding the last DVD.
I didn't see it. I saw the trailer over Thanksgiving, and I was. We all need to watch it because I've been wanting to watch it. No one will watch it with me.
See, I tried to watch the sequel.
Yeah.
The problem is they had a way bigger, higher budget.
Yeah.
And it was actually competently acted and written in
couldn't watch it.
in certain spots. I was like,
It was too good.
what?
For that
Did you
budget.
actually hire a professional actor? Get the fuck out of here.
No, yeah. Oh my
But I
God.
do like the opening scene because it's that porn star that wanted to break into mainstream, Wanda Luss, and she has her boobs out again, and she's floating in space. So the turkey just comes by in a spaceship and says, "Nice tits, bitch, in space," and that blows her up.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
That set the tone. I was like,
I mean,
this movie's gonna kick ass.
Just saying, turkey coming from space made it even better. like what is going on here? All right, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Well, that was the only great thing about Jason X is that it was in space.
Yeah, I love that movie, but only because it was
Exactly.
it was in space, and they could do all the space tropes and the killings, and that's funny. Yeah, I'll have to watch that at some point. But just to wrap up, it was playing in theaters. This point, when this episode comes out, it probably be pretty much done with its run. There's a couple theaters that may have it up in like New England area and stuff. I do know, and that's already passed, but there was a cool thing they did on the 16th of December, and I think it's in Pennsylvania somewhere. They're doing a drive-in double feature, Saint Nick of Bethlehem and Terrifier 3. Because
he
Danny
plays
Santa in both.
Yeah.
Because he plays Santa in Terrifier, which he literally went and shot that and then back in April, and then literally went on our set the next day after shooting that. So
What a fun balance of film types.
Yeah.
Terrifier.
Yeah.
why not? You know, in my mind, why the hell not?
He's got range. Put him to use.
He does. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people forget he was in Lost. He was in,
That's right. He was the
He blew
chemistry
himself
teacher.
up.
Yep. I forgot about that.
That's how my brother knows. When my brother immediately said when I told him I was working with.
Well, see, he's one of those actors where if you start listing, like, oh yeah, he was.
Oh,
in that.
yeah.
He was in that. He
Or
was in that.
how many times I've been on like scrolling through something, and he's in like because he's in every Rob Zombie movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's always in the Rob Zombie movies. He's in Halloween. He's in all those like his versions. He's in the Monsters that Rob Zombie did. He plays Grandpa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, so he's in all these other From This Nation. He's the detective in the first one. And there's just so many times I've been watching it, and I'll take a picture and say, Danny. And Danny said, yeah, I feel bad for my exes because they have to see my face still all the time. I was like, yeah, you're pretty right. So, yeah, it was good. But no, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I hope everybody does. I'll probably come back next year and talk about it more.
Yeah.
Just when it's actually out.
Yeah.
And tell people where they can watch it and stuff.
And next year's not that far away.
It really isn't. I mean,
Couple
Christmas
weeks
is,
left,
Christmas is in like a week and a half at this point.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
or
Someone who
from
works
this
at a
week.
grocery store, you don't have to remind me.
Yeah, that's right.
PTSD.
Getting to the
Are you dreaming of Mariah Carey now?
Yeah. But no,
One always, but two not because of that song.
But no, we I mean, I could speak because they've already said too. But we all really enjoyed it. So definitely, when it is out again, let me know. I want to see it
Yeah,
again. I mean,
no, for sure.
everything
Yeah, we'll
else.
do a big thing and have you guys come out. Maybe have you guys do some podcast thing or something.
Yeah,
for it.
Sure.
Try to do that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
We'll make Tony get the Santa suit on.
Yep. There you go. I'll put it on.
I know you will.
I got no shame.
Oh, there you go. You have one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what's in
Matches
just
the-
a toy bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy of mine got that for me many years ago. Hated Christmas. It was back in I think like 05 or 06. Hated the idea of Christmas. He had a daughter. At the time, I think she was like 5 or 6. But he was always like, I hate the idea of like telling kids there's Santa and blah blah blah. He couldn't stand it. He always hated when he found out when he was a kid there was no Santa.
Is he okay?
And so I'm like, so I had the Santa hat. I didn't have the suit at the time, but
Sorry, kids. There is a Santa. Don't let anybody
yes,
tell you
there
there's
is a
not.
Santa. And so I had a suit. And he's like, "Why do you wear that stupid thing?" Because I wear it for my work, and I was working at hospice at the time, so I would go to the hospitals and
that's
for
awesome.
liaison stuff.
Yeah.
And so his daughter would see me in the suit, and she's like, "Daddy." So anyway, needless to say, it was like Christmas Eve night or the day before Christmas Eve. He's like, here, I got this for you. And he bought me a Santa hat. It was a black rim one, though. He's like, I'm not going to fully conform. And then he bought me that bag, and he's like, but there is a caveat. He's like, can you play Santa on Christmas morning for my daughter? I'm like, oh. I was like, oh. So I had to go in there as myself, then leave, then change into Santa.
I had to do that one year.
Go to the family's house with the Majestic toy bag with all her toys in it. Because he played it off like there were some there, but not all of them. Like, oh, Santa must have gotten in a hurry and he forgot them, so he was doing like a little fun little thing.
Yeah.
And then, said, ho, 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 goodbye, and then left, and then changed back into my regular clothes so I could come in and eat.
And the kid had no idea.
Nope.
Yeah, that happens.
But
hopefully
it was
she's not a fan of this podcast.
Yeah.
She's probably a little bit older now, maybe. But.
Yeah, this was like, she was 5 or 6 in like 07. I mean, she's a few years older now.
So now you've just ruined her childhood memory.
Yes,
Awesome.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The illusion is
it's
gone.
actually Uncle Tony. It always is.
It was always Uncle Tony.
There's photos that she can appreciate the photos. Nothing's ruined.
Yeah. I mean, I say all the time, like, I get it, but, if you're, just have fun with it.
Right.
I mean, we're all, I'm 41 or whatever, but, I love talking to my, nephews and my niece about Santa. I love work. It's like, we all are Santa.
Yeah.
In our own way. And I actually saw a great thing posted online. Now we're way off topic here, but posted online where someone said, once you know, a way to talk to kids who found out or know or whatever is to say, well, that's fine, you're right, but now it's your job to keep the thing going for other kids. Mm-hmm. And Santa's in all of us. You don't ruin it for other people and stuff. And I wish more people would just do that even in their adult life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they don't, and they get like, oh, bah humbug. It's like, bah humbug what? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Christmas is great.
Yeah.
And even Jewish people celebrate Christmas.
Yep.
Like, it's like they do both. I mean, they're lucky. They get 2 holidays a lot of times.
Yeah, then they get 8 nights of presents.
Yeah. What the?
I'm on 8 crazy nights, too.
That's what I'm saying.
And a buddy of mine in Boston, he's Jewish, but his wife is Catholic. So
all the time.
yeah, I put up the menorah, but she puts up the tree, and we buy Christmas gifts.
That's the same thing
if you
with
ever saw
Rachel.
the show, the OC back in the day, they did Christmas Cup.
Yep.
That's what they called it. And it was kind of like literally a merging of the 2 holidays. Because the mom was like Christian and the dad was Jewish, and they just decided we're gonna celebrate both. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to, and I'm actually glad it did, because we had a lot to say about this. I'm actually glad that we got to talk a little bit more about this one.
Yeah.
So, but because we are coming up a little bit closer to the end, instead of us moving into a whole nother topic, I know you said if you can talk about it, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you said you have another project you're looking to work on. Can you just kind of maybe give a couple of hints on that?
Yeah, no, I can talk a little bit about it, because we are actively working on it. So, our next movie, which I'm actually going to co-direct with my business partner, Ben, so that'll be fun, is going to be a horror movie, thriller horror. It's called Staycation. The writer's name is Chris Carson. Great guy. He's from he went to NYU, Tisch School and film and all that stuff. But awesome script. Read it and I was like, this is great. And bringing it right here to Tampa Bay as well. So it'll be shot right here. So we'll definitely get you guys on set and stuff, or maybe do like a remote podcast or something. Or,
We'll have to buy lavalier mics.
We're looking at February was our goal to shoot it. And what's cool about it is we have so far. I mean, we're gonna bring Danny in on it. Danny Roebuck. We'll put him in the movie. He's gonna play the kind of sheriff.
I was gonna say,
guy.
is he gonna be the Santa turned
Yeah,
dad?
yeah. There's no Santa in this one. We're gonna do another Christmas movie after this one. Actually, we've decided, but that's a whole nother story. Just keep making Christmas. I mean,
There you go.
why not? No, but well, I will a little secret, not secret, but one of the things right now when you look at talk to salespeople in the industry, the 2 things they're looking for are faith-based / Christmas movies and horror movies. Are the 2 things that are selling the most right now out there, or like making money, or people want to see.
Well, tell that to the $1 billion Wicked just made.
Well, Wicked is also already was a franchise.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, no, and it's not always true. I mean, but in general, that's sort of the rule right now. So we're going to do a horror movie. We're also bringing the guy who did, so going back to Saint Nick, the guy who did the production design on Saint Nick of Bethlehem also did the production design on Terrifier 3.
Oh.
And now he's doing it on our movie. So he's gonna come to our movie and work on it and do our production design. So it's sort of this cool, like, you know, and Terrifier 3 is the
take your word for it.
number one independent film ever made.
Yeah.
Terrifier 3. It's the number one in the country, like made the most money, like 100 billion or something like that, which no independent films like ever. And it was only made for like 1.2
million. Damn.
So, you know, but that being said, so we're gonna have a few. Corn Nemec's gonna be in it as well in the movie. He'll be him and Dana are gonna be the two like cops in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a fish out of water slash not chase, but like trying to figure out what's going on in this little small town that we're creating from Tampa Bay. That's going to be like an old seaside kind of, like how, I don't want, you know, I love Homosassa, but like if you think about Homosassa probably 50 years ago, when it was like a little seaside town with little attractions and stuff for like the tourists, but if it never changed, if it never boomed like it did, and it just stayed like that, that's what this town is supposed to be kind of like.
Okay,
like,
so I'm picturing like Crystal River.
Yeah, kind of like that.
You should actually, if you ever had to do some outside shots outside of Tampa Bay, or you needed certain things, look into. It's a little bit of a drive, but look into Mexico Beach.
Mexico Beach.
It's up
in
there
the Panhandle,
near Panama City. It was the town that got wiped out by Michael many years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
But they've rebuilt. I lived there for about 6 years, but it's right there on the water. But it's got like woodsy rural areas, but it's got beach town areas. But it's a lot of still mom and pop
look at it.
places. So
Could be even places to do some plates at and stuff, and just because we're creating our own town also, because we don't want to really bash anybody's town. 'Cause it's supposed to be a, you know, and I'm not going to give away the ending of the movie, but the town has something to do with the whole, the actual ending of the movie. You know, it's about a guy and a girl that the guy invites her. They live in Florida, like Tampa. The guy's family is from this small town in Florida, not that far. That's why it's staycation. Like they're staying still kind of local.
Yeah.
But she's never been there. She's kind of like, she's an art gallery. She runs an art gallery. She does TikTok. So she's very much a modern, you know, woman or whatever. And he's kind of just works, and he's just a everyday guy, a little bit of a country bumpkin kind of guy, but not like super redneck or anything. And he's from this small town, so I want you to come visit my family. And that's sort of where and we get there, and she's like, something's off about this. So there's all this stuff.
Like Get Out.
I was
thinking,
I was thinking just like that. Like as soon as he gets to
Yeah.
the parents' house, there's like just something
and
off.
not just the parents' house. Like as soon as she gets to this town, like she sees little things that are off. You know, people. Hey, maybe I'll throw you guys in there, and you know, people that are like standing there, just like staring, like looking up. You know, and like have you guys ever been to Heritage Village?
oh yeah,
No.
Oh, it's right down the street here.
I've never been to Heritage Village.
Easily? Don't go.
You need to shut your mic off.
Well, he never went to school
Yeah,
around here. That's
right.
probably why. I mean, I didn't go to it till probably a couple of years ago.
Wait, is that the place where they give all the kids like little jobs?
No,
No, that's Enterprise Village.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is
a lot of villages
This
right
town, it's actually really cool. So they took these old houses and stores and things like that were actually really in Pinellas County, and they moved them as things got built to this little town. So now they created this little town
to preserve
it.
That's cool.
And they allow you to film there and stuff. So they have like they have a bunch of stuff we're gonna use. Like they have a general store. So think about that. She's this old town, and there's this general store. These guys just like sitting out there, just like watching her, and just like, who's this? Yeah, like stuff like that. Yeah, and that's really what it. You know. So and that's the vibe. We want this thing. We want people to be very uneasy as soon as they see the sign. You know, we're gonna have like a worn down sign for the town that's like
"Welcome to," and then it just falls off.
Like,
it crashes.
And as soon as you kind of get into the town, you're like, "What is going on here?" It just something changes from the old world. It's almost like you're in just another dimension.
That could be a cool shot for you. Like as the car passes by,
the
you do a pull string, and the bottom part of it just falls.
That actually is a great idea. It had a little humor to it.
Yeah.
There are little humor.
Congratulations, you just became an executive producer.
Yeah. EP credit. Here we are.
There we go.
So if you want to get some free shots of people just staring, sitting around, looking creepy, go through Ridgecrest a couple times.
Oh God.
That area.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I got a couple of things
Virginia?
for my phone. Yeah, in my hometown.
Well, and then, and that's why we're not going to call it Tampa. We're not going to call it because we don't really want to, shit on someone's town. But I think,
I give you full permission.
And go hard in my hometown on Long Island.
Most of them are so drugged up. A lot of these towns, like I met so many probably current meth heads when I was in West Virginia. I'm just like, and they wear it like a pride, like,
yeah.
Oh, I used to do meth, like.
Yeah.
Like,
I've told them several times to go to my hometown. You need a passport.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Like, okay.
And the malaria vaccine.
Oh yeah. Well.
It's cold up there. They don't get that many mosquitoes.
Yeah. I don't even. I was gonna say they probably don't believe in vaccines.
Vaccine.
Yeah.
I should have placed around here.
We drink shine. That's our vaccine.
Or something.
We're calling it. We're gonna call it Palmetto Springs.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, and I want to hide a palmetto bug in the sign. Like a giant, cockroach,
just
like somewhere.
Scurry or
yeah, or whatever.
The problem is they fly, so you don't know if it's gonna scurry or fly.
Fly away. Yeah. Because I think, to me, palmetto bugs are
Yeah.
worse than
they're flying cockroaches.
Oh,
yeah. It's like
because they're on steroids.
They won't die, and they've been around since the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were bigger then, but they've adapted. But at the same time, no.
That's why I can never watch the movie Mimic again.
Oh
Ever.
yeah, God, yeah.
Cockroaches turn into.
I'm actually surprised you've seen that movie.
Me too.
I was gonna say that's like
he throws a random nugget out.
It's
once
like,
in a while.
yeah. Wait, how did?
I've also seen Species.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Listening to Patrick's movieography is like playing golf. You've always got that 1 300-yard drive or 20-foot putt you sink.
But for the most part, I'm going to shank.
But you're shooting over 100 every time.
Yeah, of course. That's so funny.
No, that's awesome, man. So we'll definitely keep us up to date on what's going to be going on with that.
Sure.
But we do have to wrap up here. We are just about out of time. But thank you again, Doug, for talking to us about Saint Nick of Bethlehem.
Take over your episode.
Absolutely,
today.
man. Hey,
Sorry
makes
we
it
didn't get
easier.
to another topic here, but
No. Actually, this was enough. I liked it.
This was perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
But until next week for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I wanted to talk about Fat Man, but I'm also Patrick Wall.
We'll do it next week.
All right.
And I'm Doug Tschirhart. Thank you again, guys, for having me.
Of course, Doug. Happy to have you.
Absolutely, boss.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Take care, guys.